Hello. Well, okay. So, welcome friends. Today's learn session, class 8, subject science, reproduction in animals. Reproduction in animals. So, during this session, friends, if you have any questions, please click this button. Either you type your question or chat with me. So, I will answer all the questions at the end of the session. If I ask you to raise your hand, so please click this button. So friends, today we are going to learn class 8, subject science, chapter number 9, reproduction in animals. So generally 4 marks will be asked out of 80 and I am your mentor, Gopal Chopade. So what we are going to discuss? Introduction about the chapter. There are 3 subtopics: modes of reproduction, sexual reproduction, asexual reproduction. Finally, we'll summarize and I will take your question and answers. But today, I will take only the 3 subtopics, 2 subtopics up to sexual reproduction in human beings. Remaining we'll discuss in second session. Okay? Now, so several processes are taking place in living organism, such as circulation of blood, digestion of food, respiration, that is exchange of gases. So all these processes are very essential for the survival of human beings or even other animals. So if you have circulatory system, digestive system, respiratory system, so that living organisms can survive. Similarly, the reproduction is essential to maintain the continuity in the species. I may survive with the above process, but if the organism want to continue the life, so it should do a what you call a reproduction. So it reproduce animals. If reproduction not takes place in animals, what happens? Think about it. Yes, so you may not be there. Okay, so there is not be continuity of life. Your parents may not be there. So no similar kind of organisms will be present on the earth generation of the generation. So that is impossible. So therefore, to continue the species, what is important? Reproduction is very important. Now, what are the modes of reproduction in living organisms? Basically, there are 2 modes, 2 types of reproduction. One, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. See the word reproduction, produce repeatedly, same number of species, same kind of species, one organism. Sexual, that is gametes are there, 2 parents are there, but in asexual only 1 parent is there, no gametes are there. But here today we are discussing only the sexual reproduction in human beings with other living organisms. One. So already we have studied reproduction in plants in our lower classes. Now what is the similarities between reproduction in plants and animals? So try to recall. Yes. So both undergo the sexual as well as asexual process of reproduction. They also do, we also do. So that is both. In both, the males and females have a different reproductive organs. Recall your lower classes. Flower is there. Flower contains stamen. Flower contains ovary. So stamen, anther produce pollen grains. Ovary produce ovules. In the same way, animals also has different reproductive organs. So when the gametes are produced, so definitely zygote is formed. When the zygote is formed, when male and female gametes fuse together. So that you have studied fertilization. In plant also takes place, in animal also takes place. Then third similarity, what is there? The zygote develop into new individual. So there we again embryo, zygote become embryo become plants. Yeah, plant. In animal also, zygote become embryo and embryo become a baby animal. You might have seen in our house there is a baby, calf. Okay, so many babies are there. Okay, cat you will give kitten. So there is one activity in your textbook. Just try to fill those gaps. Okay, young ones of a different animals. Okay, you can have that one. Okay, now so we'll concentrate more on sexual mode of reproduction. As I told, what is a sexual reproduction? See, it is a type of reproduction that start with the fusion of male and female gametes, where male will produce male gamete, female organisms produce female gametes. So both will come together, they fuse, and then that process will begins. This is not happens in asexual reproduction. Therefore, asex, no gametes. Sexual gametes. Is it clear? Yes. So reproductive parts in human beings, because human beings will do sexual reproduction. So what are those reproductive parts? Now, first you try to observe the story of a baby. So this is a female reproductive system. So different parts are there. Ovary is there, uterus is there, fallopian tube is there. See, this is the ovary. So ovary will produce a female gamete that is called egg. See, so there is a egg in the fallopian tube. Now from here, the sperms are coming. See, now here, one egg is there, which is surrounded by a millions of sperm. Here, four are showing. Out of these, only one sperm will fuse with this single egg. And you can even see the size. Which one is larger? Which one is smaller? Yes, egg is larger. Sperm is smaller. Yeah, female gamete is larger. Male gamete is smaller. Now see how fusion. See, only one sperm is entered inside the egg and the remaining cannot enter. Now this is a what we call zygote. Okay. See, now it will go on dividing. So when it will divide, it will become a embryo. Now this is now the embryo stage. See, now it is a fetus or baby. Okay. So this video, I hope it has given all detailed things. Now try to learn in detail. So male reproductive system. So diagram is very important. It is there in your textbook. See, there are two testes which are reproductive organs, a pair of testes, then a sperm duct. So this will carry the male gametes which are produced in the testes. They will carry and they will bring to the a penis, and penis will pass that outside the body. So these three parts, remember: testes, penis, and sperm duct. Now, the male reproductive system provides the sperm, male gamete, for fertilization that you have seen in the video. So testes produce the male gametes called sperms. So how many sperms are produced? So millions of sperms are produced every day after the maturity. So what are sperms? So they are very small in size, tiny, you might have seen, and each has a head that carry nucleus from the father, a middle piece that has energy source, and a tail for the swimming purpose. So these are the three parts of sperm. What are those? Head, middle piece, and tail. Diagram is important. I will show you. Now sperm is a single cell with all usual cell components what you have studied in cell chapter. It carries Golgi bodies, mitochondria, nucleus, everything is there. Then there are two sperm ducts. What they do? They carry sperm from testis to penis. So that is function is carry the sperm which are produced in the testis and bring into the penis. And the third part, a penis external organ that helps to transfer a sperm. So this is about what? A male reproductive system. Now if you see here diagram of sperm, very important. See, you can draw the diagram of head like this triangular shape. Then here it is a middle piece that contain lot of mitochondria that will give energy for the movement of sperm, and that movement is carried out by this a long tail which has the flagella. Okay. So where these are produced? These are produced in the testes. What are the testes? The male reproductive organs. Okay. Now come to the female reproductive organs. See, again there are three important parts as we are observed in the video. Ovary is there. See, again there are two ovary, left and right ovary. Then there are oviduct, fallopian tube. Again there are two fallopian tubes and a single large sac called as a uterus. So uterus, oviduct, and ovary, these are the three major parts of female reproductive system. So inside the ovary, so they will produce a large, again a single cell, that is egg, female gamete. So that is called as a egg cell or containing the nucleus, and which carry the character from your mother. Sperm carry the characters from your father. Okay. Now, so female reproductive organs includes ovary. How many ovaries are there? Pair of ovaries. It produces female gametes called ova. You can call it ova or you can call it egg. So egg is also a single cell. In human beings, only single mature egg is produced. Only one egg is produced every month alternately. One of the ovaries every month. But what you have seen in sperms, they produce in millions every day from both the testes. That is the difference. Then egg is released into the oviduct by one of the ovary every month. Okay. Remember this. So again, you study that one in adolescence, reaching to adolescence. So menstrual cycle will come there. We'll see that. Second one is oviducts, or what is another name? Fallopian tube, because it is a tube-like structure. What is the function? It transfer egg which is produced from ovary into the uterus, or it transfer the fertilized egg that is called zygote to the uterus. Okay, if fertilized, zygote; if not fertilized, egg. You can use the word. Third one is uterus. Uterus is a sac, muscular sac. where the development of the baby takes place, and it will take 9 months approximate for the baby development in the mother's uterus. So these are the three parts: ovary, oviduct, and uterus. Okay, so diagram is again very important. Now see, once the egg is ready here and sperms are ready, so they both will come together, and out of that only one sperm will enter into the ovum. So this head carry nucleus, the ovum also carry nucleus. So this fusion of both nucleus takes place, and that process is called fertilization. Show the diagram of fertilization. So this is very important diagram. Okay, now see here. See here, from this ovary, the egg is released. In the same time, if there is a sperm, so both will meet here, and see that zygote is formed. Okay, then again this will get implanted. So this process will continue. So this is called fertilization. How you can define? Fusion of the egg with sperm. Yeah, fusion of egg and sperm is called fertilization. Yeah, male and female gamete is called fertilization. It is a first step in the process of sexual reproduction. Yeah, reproduction. So fusion will take place. When sperms are come in contact with the egg, one of the sperm, what we have discussed, millions of sperm produce, but only one sperm is required, may fuse with the egg. It may fuse with the egg. So during fertilization, what happens? The nuclei of the sperm that carry characters from father and egg fuse to form a single nucleus. So egg nucleus, sperm nucleus fuse and produce a single nucleus. So that result in formation of a fertilized egg, yeah, what we call a egg or zygote. Fertilized egg or zygote. Okay. Any doubt? If you have doubt, so please ask your questions that I will take at the end of the session. Okay. So we have seen male reproductive system, female reproductive system, male gamete sperm, female gamete egg, yeah, ova. So now fertilization, fusion of both the gametes result in formation of single cell, that is called zygote. See, this is fusion of two nuclei. See that here father, yeah, mother nucleus. So both will fuse, and that condition is called as zygote. So this is how fertilization takes place. So this result in the formation of fertilized egg or zygote. Now the new individual, okay, you inherits and a carry. So some characteristics from mother and some from the father. So father will also contribute 50%, mother also contribute 50%. So you are the combination of your both parents. Okay, and you also look very similar to your father or mother, or some 50%. So you can just observe with your some traits observable from your father, how your eyes looks like, how your hairstyle, yeah, walking, speaking, whatever it is. Now, so types of fertilization. There are basically two types of fertilization. One is internal fertilization. That is, fertilization process takes place inside the female body. Okay, so fusion of gametes takes place inside the female body. So such organism produce less number of eggs are produced. You might have heard during female. Only one egg is produced every ovary, every month. Not more eggs are produced. So here high chance of the survival of the offsprings, because that baby will develop inside the mother body. So therefore survival chance is very high. Therefore no need to produce more egg. Give the example: cow, human beings, and hens. Okay, so all these have internal fertilization. Very important question. What is internal fertilization? Give example. Yeah, give the difference between internal and external. So here fertilization process takes place outside the body of the female. So female outside the body, it is inside the female body. See, second, here less number, see, large number of eggs are produced, very large number. Why? Because they lay the egg in water. So therefore, chance of survival of the offspring is very, very low. So therefore, to continue their life, they give a lay more eggs. You might have seen in fish or in the frog also. We'll see that in next slide. Examples, all aquatic animals like fishes or all amphibians and frogs or starfish or even other also. So many are there. Okay. So this is the basic difference between internal and external fertilization. You have any questions? So you can just ask. Now, see the entire event. See, this is the ovary. So ovary produce your egg, ya ova, ya ovum. See, this egg is surrounded by so many sperms. So one sperm is entered. See that two nuclei. Black one is male. This one is female. See that division takes place. So zygote divide, and here it will implant in the mother uterus. Now here the fertilized ovum, ya zygote, will implant, and this will remain for around 9 months. Okay, so this is how it will occurs. Now, development of embryo. So zygote which begins to develop into an embryo. So zygote begins to develop into embryo. So the zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to a ball of a cells. A ball of a cells. So the cells then begin to form a groups, so that develops into a different tissues and organs of the body. Different tissues and organs of the body. So this developing structure is termed as a embryo. This developing structure is termed as a embryo. Okay, embryo. So this is how it will takes place. So the embryo gets embedded. Embryo gets embedded. Okay, in the wall of the uterus for the further development. Further development. Further development. Now see that how zygote development taking place here. Okay, now here is a uterus. So here is a fallopian tube. Okay, then zygote is here. So zygote will slowly pass through the fallopian tube, and here the embedding embryo takes place. Now you can see here how that developing embryo is taking place. Now, so development of a embryo. Embryo continues to develop in the uterus. Embryo continue to develop in the uterus. So it gradually develops body parts such as a hands, So it gradually develops body parts such as hands, legs, head, eyes, ears, etc. Okay. So the stage of the embryo in which all the body parts can be identified. So that stage of embryo is called as a fetus. See, egg, then sperm will fuse, produce zygote. Zygote will divide and become embryo. Then embryo develops into different body parts, and that body parts containing structure is called a fetus. Then after fetus, baby. So when the development of the fetus is complete, the other gives birth to the baby. Okay, so that fetus will become a baby. So you might have seen different animals, baby animals. So this is how stages. Now you can see that one by one. See, the egg is released. Here sperms are coming. Fusion takes place. Fertilized egg as zygote. Pass to the uterus. See, in uterus, implantation. So complete development here takes place. See, now this is embryonic period. See that it slowly grow into embryo. Then different parts will come. See that? Okay, eye, then limbs are coming. See, limbs, legs, hands, ear. So this is what we call now fetus. Now the fetus is slowly growing to see baby. So baby will now born. Okay. Now this is what the diagram you have in your a textbook, that is baby development inside the uterus. Okay. Now, yeah, you can just see this slide. So I have shown the different stages. See that single cell is now converted into a multicellular baby after 40 weeks. Yeah, generally we call 9 months, 10 days, yeah, 270 days. Okay. Now, so whether the baby is directly born to the female or from the egg. So depends upon that. There are two types. See here, the cow has a calf, and here the hen has lay the egg. Now, viviparous animals. What are viviparous? Animals which give birth to young ones. Young ones. Who will give birth directly to the young ones? All mammals except one or two. Human beings, dog, cow, cat, even whale, all these are. Okay. Then what are oviparous animals? The animals which lay egg, whether it is a fertilized egg or unfertilized egg. Okay, so birds, frog, lizard, or even butterfly or moth, and even crow. So all birds, all reptiles, even amphibians. So all they are oviparous. Some will lay fertilized egg like hen, and some will lay unfertilized egg. Okay, so that is the difference between viviparous, oviparous. Okay. Now, in lower classes, we have studied the life cycle of silkworm. See that. Here, the young ones and adult ones, they are entirely different. But what about we? So when you are born to our mother, we are very identical to our parents. But here it is not like that. So their life begins from a single cell egg. So that egg will hatch and develop into larva, a caterpillar, that is the second stage. Then caterpillar slowly develop into pupa, that is the third stage. And pupa, okay, that is here turn into a developing moth, or even, okay, that will adult a moth. So this is what you have seen in every butterfly or a silkworm. In the same way, young ones to adults. In some animals, the young ones may look very different from the adult. Young one, larva, it is entirely different from silkworm, yeah, butterfly. See, in silkworm, egg is the first stage, larva, yeah, caterpillar is the second stage, pupa, and then adult. Okay, you have seen this one in last year syllabus. In frog, we have to study frog egg is developed into tadpole, that is called larva. And this tadpole is very different from adult. So they have entire changes. So what you call such situation? You can see here, eggs are there. Eggs are developed into tadpole. This is early tadpole, only tail is there. Then tail having the limbs, that is a late tadpole. And this entire structure is changed into an adult frog. See, limbs are there, but no tail. Here, limbs are absent, tail is there. So this drastic change will take place. And that process we call as metamorphosis. Now, what is metamorphosis? Transformation of the larva into an adult through a drastic changes. So that process is called metamorphosis. See that. Tadpoles transform into adults. Tadpoles transform into adults. Then what is a tadpole? Capable of jumping as well as swimming. But adult tadpole entirely live in the water, but adult it can live both in water and land. Okay, so this is what we call metamorphosis. Now see that a video. Okay, so a group of egg is also called a spawn. See that it will develop gills for the breathing purpose. See that. See, gills, now here lungs. Okay, so you might have enjoyed the video, yeah, life cycle of frog. So finally, we will summarize what you have learned. There are two modes by which animals reproduce. Number one, sexual reproduction and asexual. So asexual we'll discuss in the second session. Reproduction resulting from the fusion of male and female gametes is called as sexual reproduction, as you have seen. Female reproductive organs consist ovaries, oviducts, and uterus that ovary produce a female gamete. Male reproductive organs consist testes, sperm, ducts, and penis. So testes produce a sperms, that is a male gamete. Ovary produce female gametes called ova. Testes produce male gametes called sperms. Okay, so this is here what is important: male reproductive system diagram, sperm diagram, female reproductive system diagram, and ova diagram they may ask also. Then the fusion of ovum and sperm takes place, that you are called fertilization, fusion of gametes. Fertilization, fertilized egg is called a zygote. Okay, fertilization may occur inside the body. We have seen the examples. Okay, most of the mammals. Or fertilization takes place outside the body. If taking place inside, internal. Outside the female body, external. We have seen in reptiles. Okay, or fishes. Yeah, most of the invertebrates also. Here zygote divides repeatedly to give rise to an embryo. So zygote is also single cell. From zygote, multicellular organism, embryo will become. Embryo in which all body parts are identifiable. So that part is called as now fetus. Embryo become fetus, which give birth to young ones. Okay, if this fetus will become young ones, a baby. The organisms which give birth directly to young ones, what you are called? Viviparous animals. And animals which are hen, frog, lizard, and butterfly, which lay eggs, they cannot give directly birth to the baby. So such animals are called as oviparous. Okay. So in some animals, the young one and the adults are look entirely different. And that changes which are happening in from young stage to adult stage, drastic changes, we call as metamorphosis. Okay, so this is what we have learned in today's learn a session. Okay, so friends, I request you to join my next session. Okay, thank you.